getting closer to finding out how much of a hit TOPS will take in the coming year. We'll take a closer look on how that number will affect students.
Survivors of sexual assault met on campus last night to respond to controversial statements made by the LSU Police Department. And
later, see which state wants to make medical marijuana available to patients during school hours.
Don't go anywhere. Newsbeat starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Matt Houston.
And I'm Madeline Adams. Governor John Bel Edwards proposed next year's budget on Tuesday. As of now, it looks like the TOPS scholarship will be cut by 66% starting on July 1st and will affect many students entering college next fall and spring.
Edwards says the only way TOPS will not take a hit is if the legislature agrees to raise taxes over the summer. If TOPS is fully funded, it would cost the state $298 million, but with the cuts, it would only cost the state $110 million.
Along with TOPS, hospitals in Alexandria, Lake Charles, and Houma and Bogalusa will also be seeing cuts. Governor Edwards also announced today that $40 million will be cut from public schools in kindergarten through high school.
Last week, LSU PD spokesperson Lieutenant Kevin Scott talked to the Daily Reveille about sexual assault during game days. Lieutenant Scott was quoted to say that he doesn't necessarily believe that all sexual assault victims that step up are actually sexual assault victims, and students took the initiative to act against these comments and held a discussion on campus about the issue. Take a look.
On Monday night, LSU students met to discuss the issue of sexual assault on a college campus and ways to stop it.
It's a serious issue at all levels throughout the university, not just within students. People who you're supposed to trust have implicated that they may not be worthy of trust at the moment.
The discussion was in response to comments made by LSU PD spokesperson Lieutenant Kevin Scott, who questioned if sexual assault victims were being honest about their assault.
Lieutenant Scott said that his questions and his answers were taken out of context. I don't think they were. I think he said something that he regretted once it was printed. I don't know any context where it's okay to question the honesty of a survivor of sexual assault.
The students talked about ways to help get initiative taken to make LSU a better, safer place for all students.
I want to make sure that LSU is handling these instances of sexual assault or rape in the best way possible. I want to make sure that students are comfortable coming forward with their stories if they're a survivor of sexual assault or rape.
Event planner Peter Jenkins says that it's not about the statistics Lieutenant Scott mentioned, it's about being aware.
I'm here to work to argue about numbers, whether it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5, or 1 in 32 women on college campuses who are sexually assaulted. If there's one on our campus, we need to do better.
The students plan to meet up later in the week to discuss ways to get the university to listen and take initiative. LSU currently has in place We're Committed, an LSU-sponsored program to tackle sexual assault and harassment, which students think is a good first step, but want more to be done.
Louisiana's version of Mississippi's religious law titled the Pastor Protection Act was up for debate Tuesday morning. This bill would allow pastors to refuse to marry gay couples without them being sanctioned to the pastor. Last year, Bobby Jindal issued an executive order that was similar to the bill when gay marriage was upheld by the Supreme Court in June. This bill would only apply to pastors, unlike Mississippi's that applies to all businesses. The bill was advanced by the House Tuesday morning.
Technology has been a very helpful tool to students in the classroom, but can they be helping too much? Tiger TV reporter Desiree Robertson sat down with professors to see how they plan on tackling the issue.
Questions that we tend to ask.
Chemistry professor Elizabeth Cook works hard to prevent cheating in her classroom.
Multiple forums. I scramble questions, I scramble answers, I change answers on questions that look the same but aren't.
But Cook says she and other professors need more help preventing and catching cheating.
I think we're not provided with what would ultimately make the prosecution of the person ironclad.
According to LSU Assistant Dean of Students, Katie McGee, currently the university is seeing more cases of academic misconduct than behavioral cases.
I I can tell you statistically the number of students referred for academic misconduct has gone up significantly in the past 4 years.
He says universities across the country are also seeing the same trend. One reason she gives? Technology.
There's so much more opportunity to gain unauthorized information now that didn't exist even 5 years ago.
Students can now share notes and testing information on note sharing sites and apps. And the university does not currently have a rule on what is and what isn't allowed.
Well, there are some faculty that put in their syllabus, you may not post my course materials. Others are okay with it. It's always important to ask. It's never appropriate to share test information.
As technology advances, Cook fears cheating will only become harder to catch, especially with more students using smart watches and glasses. For Tiger TV, Desiree Robertson.
LSU still holds a very high standard, and high consequences will be in line for students that are caught cheating.
LSU professor Dr. Isaiah Warner was announced as the SEC Professor of the Year on Tuesday. Warner is a professor of chemistry and Howard Hughes Medical Institute professor. He's been conducting research that aims to develop and apply chemical, instrumental, and mathematical measurements to solve fundamental questions in chemistry. Warner is a Louisiana native and also serves as LSU's Vice President for Strategic Initiatives.
Coming up after the break, see what state wants to allow medical marijuana to patients during school hours.
And later today is Equal Pay Day, and we'll show you how women around the country are continuing to fight.
A bill to raise the age of adult entertainers from 18 to 21 passed today in the Louisiana Senate. The bill was proposed by Lake Charles Senator Ronnie Johns, who stated the bill would help fight sex trafficking. Johns also thinks the state should all match up with New Orleans, who already has a law that does not allow dancers under the age of 21. No senators voted against the bill yesterday, and it will now move on to the House for them to vote on. Opponents of raising the age say that the age requirement would limit women who use dancing as a way to better themselves financially.
The debate over medical marijuana is still ongoing throughout the United States. This time, that debate heads to the classroom. CBS News reporter Kathy Walsh has more on this debate.
She's strong, she's loving, and she's living again.
Megan Patrick says 3-year-old.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. LSU athletes are recognized for their intense abilities on the field, but as Leah Alexander shows us, what happens off the field is just as important.
When everyone has gone home to rest, one Tiger trains harder and even longer to stay on top of his game.
Twice a day, Monday through Friday. Tuesdays are our off day, and once Saturday and Sunday.
The body may also experience other risks and trauma if not trained properly.
Drills and strides. In the strides, we alternate every 100 meters, picking up your speed to get the legs warm so you can prevent injuries like the one I got, the hip strain.
Athletes are advised to acquire 8 hours of rest and a proper diet in order to be successful.
One day it's all right, 1 week it's all right, 2 weeks you might be able to make it, but when you start talking about doing that 3 weeks in a month, your body's going to break down. It's just the way it is, So you gotta get that rest, and even if you're not sleeping, if you have some type of, insomnia or somewhere you can't just fall asleep, you need to be at least laying down in bed.
Talent is just the first step on the road to victory.
Our entire goal is to see them graduate from LSU and at the same time each year get just a little bit better at whatever their primary event is in our sport. And I think that it's a great tribute to them that they're willing to make those kind of sacrifices to be successful.
For Tiger TV, I'm Leah Alexander.
Coming up after the break, see how women are still fighting to have equal pay with men.
Don't go anywhere. Newsbeat will be right back.
Today is National Equal Pay Day. Women have been fighting for equal pay since World Wars I and II, when women began doing the same jobs as men while they were away at war. Even while the men were away, women were getting paid less for the same work.
The debate has increased in recent weeks when the U.S. women's national soccer team sued the U.S. Soccer Federation for being paid 40% less than the men's team. The most recent attempt to close the pay gap came in 2014. The legislation called the Paycheck Fairness Act fell a few votes short of passing the Senate.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. For more, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LSU Tiger TV. We're also always online at tigertv.tv. I'm Matt Houston.
And I'm Madeline Adams. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.